What's up, everybody? We back with another video. Today, we're gonna be talking about Takumi. All right, man, we got Takumi's stats pulled up. All my long-term subscribers, I know y'all missed that intro, man. So today we're gonna be talking about Takumi. He is a scoring point guard who specializes in dribbling the ball and getting the ball to his teammates extremely fast after those dribble moves. So first stat we're looking at is a three-point shot with 65 at base. That is a really good three-point shot. And if you feel like his three-point shot is not good, just think about the fact that Jessica has one less than him at base, and that'll put a little bit more things into perspective. Takumi, splendid three-point shooter. If you put some more of that on him, you can see I don't really have much right now. I'm probably going to specialize inside the mid-range area, but to be fair, I don't really use Takumi often. His play style does not fit the way that I play. So next we're looking at mid shot with 71 at base. That's higher than Havoc G, man. That is higher than Kiang. I believe that's higher than Justin and Yui as well. Very strong mid-range shot, and that is definitely what I'm going to be specializing in when I decide to finally use this character and figure out the proper way to use him. So if you're going to be scoring with this character, probably going to be taking your contested shots inside the mid-range area. Just like with everyone else, you don't want to really take contested three-point shots. So his close shot and dunk are both trash. Don't try to score inside the paint with these characters. TSC smoked. He loves to dunk the ball with Takumi. He's been seeing some success inside of there if there's only a point guard inside the paint. So his steal is only 48. His steal isn't really that good. I would not recommend putting more of that on there. It's not his play style. So dribble with 62 at base. That's also a really good dribble stat to have at base. That's going to help him actually be able to dribble the ball a little bit longer than most characters inside this game. So pass with 65 at base. That is a lower base than Big O. That is a lower base than most of the passing base point guards inside this game, but 65 pass at base is not bad. So don't feel like 65 pass isn't that good. He will still be giving you a lot of bonus accuracy, and his dribble pass will give you even more. We'll talk about that when we get there. So speed with 65 at base as well. So speed 65 at base, that's not too bad. It's really close to someone like Justin. So if you feel like Justin's a decent speed or Nico's a decent speed, then he's going to be a decent speed for you as well. But Takumi's dive is not that good. He has a dive like Hoy. It is very, very bad. You will not be winning those dives over Yui. You will not be winning those dives over Nico. You will not win them over Boa, and you will not win them over Nana. It just simply will not happen because they have better dive heights and better dive distance, from my experience anyway. So this entire bottom section right here, all garbage. Jump only 17. You shouldn't be scoring inside the paint with him anyway. Rebound only 26. The only time you should be inside the paint when you're going for a rebound anyway is if both bigs on both teams slip up on the rebound, and even at that point you shouldn't even go for the rebound. You should be waiting for the dive. So block with 37. That's actually a decent block stat for a point guard. He's gonna have a decent block height against other point guards, but once again, this guy is extremely short, so you're gonna have to jump a little bit earlier than taller characters. And power is only 22. That is an abysmal power stat, significantly less than someone like May. I believe he also has less than Yui and Nana, so make sure y'all keep that in mind. All right, let's jump to the abilities. All right, so we got Takumi's abilities pulled up. We are not going to look at the staples. We know what those do already. So first one we're looking at is crossover. This is a very good ability because you can actually use this while your regular dribble move is on cooldown. So let's read it. This skill can pass the ball through the opponent's crotch and dribble. Pause, Raccoon Digi. All right, so at level 2, you get an additional 3% increase in the hit rate of openings within 3 seconds after the dribble. And at level 3, the exact same thing, except you'll be getting 5% extra accuracy for a total of 8%. Now, I'm not sure if they mean if you end up being open after this, you get the 8% extra accuracy, or just by simply using it, you get the 8% extra accuracy. So I'm not sure. Don't ask me, man. So next, we're looking at behind the back. Marcus has this. Susan has this. And this ability is exclusive to these 3 characters, I believe. I can't think of anyone else with a behind the back, so let's read it. Dribble behind the back and move past laterally. That's left and right. So when you do a regular dribble move, you're going to go to the side and go forward a little bit. But with behind the back, you don't actually go forward. You just go directly to the side. And that's going to help you actually lose your defenders more often. On top of that, behind the back cannot be interrupted. So don't be afraid to use this in the same direction as your defender. So at level 2, dribble move distance plus 10, and it can be combined with step back. And level 3, dribble move distance plus 10 10 as well, and dribble move speed plus 10, and it's going to increase your shooting accuracy by 3% after the dribble. So if you go into a crossover, into a behind the back, you'll be getting 11% extra accuracy. That's the same thing that Marcus was getting when he did a behind the back, into a turnaround step back, into a pull up before his turnaround step back got the level 4. So that 11% extra accuracy definitely comes in handy, and it's definitely going to help you get those contested shots on in there in the mid-range area. So next we're looking at dribbling pass. This is his point guard passing ability. This is the very first character in the game with this ability. It does have some weaknesses though. We're going to talk about those when we get done reading it. So let's go ahead and read it. This skill can pass the ball quickly during a dribble move without being intercepted. It's technically a pinpoint pass that can be used at any range. You could be standing 1 inch away from your teammate and it will still activate this ability, and it definitely comes in handy if you're going against someone like a Nico or Ayumi and you want to avoid those intercepts. Dribbling pass will definitely help you avoid those. So at level 2, during the assist time, the hit rate will be increased by 3%. Same thing at level 3, but you get 5% for a total of 8% extra accuracy to the ball receiver. Now you want to boost your teammates' accuracy. That is the most effective way to actually do it. But also, don't forget you have bounce pass. Just because he has dribbling pass doesn't mean you need to spam this ability. It's more so an ability for when you're doing a strategy like ISO dunker. You're doing those dribble moves behind the screen to force the ISO inside the paint, and then once the big on the opposing team decides they're going to step up there and overcommit on defense, you hit them with a dribbling pass. It's going to be extremely fast no matter the range of your teammate, so that big will not be able to get in there and stop them in time. So last ability we'll be looking at is fancy stepping back. This is technically a turnaround step back with less range, so let's read it. Fancy stepping back skills, which can be connected to dribble and change in direction. So it's a turnaround step back once again. So level 2, retreat distance plus 0.2 meters. At level 3, retreat distance plus 0.3 meters and time reduced by 2F. I'm assuming that means 2 frames, but I'm not completely sure. So level 4, it will not enter a restricted dribble state after stepping back. So if you do a dribble move into a step back, you will not be dribble restricted. Think about Conan. If he does 2 dribble moves into a turnaround step back, he will still be able to dribble. Same thing with Takumi. So we're gonna go ahead and jump to the training area where we're gonna do Street Legend first to show you the dribbling pass, and then we're gonna go to the training area to show the rest of the abilities. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, we got Street Legend pulled up. We got our man Takumi in here. So I don't know why my dribble move button over there is being weird, but I'm gonna show y'all dribbling pass. So all you gotta do a dribble move and then hit your pass button. As you can see, she was right to my side and it still activated the pinpoint pass. Let's do this with a behind the back. Yes, you can do that with your behind the back as well. If you do a step back into a dribble move, you can do it after that as well. But y'all definitely need to make sure y'all take note of this next thing I'm about to say. You cannot activate your dribbling pass off of crossover. As you can see, we pressed the pass button during the crossover and it still didn't do the dribbling pass. You cannot do it after a step back. As you can see, we did the step back and tried to do a dribbling pass and it did not work. So it has to be a regular left or right dribble move or a left or right behind the back in order for you to activate this. So I also want y'all to take note of the fact that, give me the ball, Susan. There we go. So I want y'all to also take note that you can do this after doing a behind the back dribble feint. So you do your feint, then you go ahead and pass that. Free assist if you do it properly anyway. So we're gonna jump to the training area now. We got training area pulled up. Got our man Takumi in here once again. So first ability we're gonna talk about is his level 4. Now I normally save this for last, but this ability is extremely important inside of his kit. So you got your fancy stepping back. It looks like this. As you can see, literally just a turnaround step back with less range. So you can see that you can go that way and jerk down, pause, similar to what Marcus and Jackie can do. So you're gonna go backwards and then you're gonna come back down. But when it comes down to someone like Marcus, if he has his behind the back dribble ready and he goes into a turnaround step back and tries to come back forward, then it's gonna do a regular dribble move. But with Takumi, if he has his behind the back dribble ready and he goes into a step back into a dribble move, it's gonna activate the turnaround, the behind the back. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. It's a similar animation, but it is a completely different ability and it works completely different as well. So next we're gonna be talking about crossover. There are 2 different things you can do with this ability. First, it's just this regular basic animation. If you're doing a crossover in between the opponent's legs, doesn't really help out very much unless they're standing still. If they're standing still, you're pretty much guaranteed to get the ankle breaker on this. So make sure y'all keep that in mind as well. Your opponent just standing still, waiting on you to use a dribble move. Hit them with a crossover. If they remain standing still, you will definitely snatch their ankles in half with this character. So next, we're looking at the second animation. So this animation right here has a step back attached to it. So in order to activate the first one, all you have to do is tap your aux button once. It's gonna go to the basic crossover animation without the step back, and then if you press it twice, he's gonna do a crossover into a step back. Now, the way that you want to actually be utilizing this in a way to be effective is that if you feel like you're gonna snap your opponent's ankles with the crossover, you want to make sure you tap it twice, because it's basically just this but with the crossover ability, and it also adds an additional dribble move to your combos. So let's say I want to do 4 dribble moves. We're gonna go into this, just a bunch of fancy stuff. That is 4 dribble moves linked together. The only character in the entire game who can link 4 dribble moves with each other, and it definitely comes in handy, man. Now, another thing y'all need to take note of when it comes down to this ability, because there is a whole lot that goes into this, is that if you do just a regular crossover without the step back, you cannot do a fancy stepping back after a regular crossover without the step back attached to it. But if you do that one, then you'll be able to go into a step back. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. You're wondering why you can't do step backs after just a regular crossover. That is why you cannot do it with a regular crossover. All right, so last we're gonna be looking at behind the back. You know what this does already. Probably newer players probably don't, but I'm gonna talk about this ability anyway just because it's inside of his kit. So behind the back has 2 different animations as well. You have just the regular behind the back, where they just go behind the back very simply, very fast. And behind the back also has a second animation where you can dribble the ball a little bit before you decide to go behind the back. And in order to do that, your analog has to be left, right, or forward. Then you double tap the dribble move button while your behind the back's ready. So let's take a look at it here. There it goes right there. Pretty easy and pretty simple. Now, another thing y'all need to take note of with behind the back, I say this with every character that has behind the back, that you need to know this combo because it keeps your dribble moves off cooldown. So what you want to do is you get your behind the back ready. I forgot I had it ready right there. So you get your behind the back ready, you jump into a feint, you step back, and then you go into a behind the back again. I did it wrong. So there we go. As you can see, we're ready to dribble again. Then we can go into a crossover, dribble some more, and shoot the ball. Just dribble moves on top of dribble moves. Now, I want y'all to actually pay attention to what I'm about to say right now. Just because he has all these dribble moves doesn't mean you should be dribbling all the time. There's an 18-second shot clock. There should not be 10 seconds left by the time your teammates get the ball. That is not your job. As Takumi, you are a point guard. You should be passing more than anything, and you should not be spamming your dribbling pass, because if your opponents catch on to you actually just spamming those, they're going to be trying to stand to your side and stop your dribble moves. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. All right, so we can go ahead and wrap this video up. Y'all want to see another breakdown that I haven't done already? Drop it inside the comments. That's it. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.